Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Crushing Land. Happy to have you here with us this week. And as I mentioned in the last episode, what we're going to be doing over the next number of weeks, including this one, is going over some of the misconceptions that are out there right now in the investing, particularly the land investing space. These are things that have been brought to us by our students and by people that are following us, and they're hearing other information out there, and they're wondering what they should be doing and if it's accurate and things like that. And so we're just going to address some of those different things over the next number of weeks. Now, one thing that I will say is I don't know if what people are actually hearing. I know what I'm being told that they're hearing, and so that's what we're going to address. And if there is wrong information out there, which there probably is, there always is, right? This isn't a negative on any person that's putting that information out there, because one thing that I have personally noticed over the last couple of years in particular is that a lot of people started investing in land in the last few years only. People that started investing in say the last 5 years in land and are now out there educating people on what they are doing in the land investing space. And that in itself is not a negative. I give those people a lot of credit for getting out there, for doing it, for figuring it out, for running their businesses, and then for passing that information along and helping other people as well. Where the issue comes into play is that they've literally only known a single market. And so the decisions that they're making right now are based off of that market and the way that they know how to handle their business. And they're trying to adjust on the fly for the upcoming market. And some of the information that is being put out there that I'm hearing about is just not correct because of that. And so we're just trying to help you guys with the best way to look at things for 2024, for the changing market, for a cooling market, for becoming more of a buyer's market than a seller's market, as it's been over the next number of years. So one of the things that's come up and that I was asked about a couple of different times now that I've heard is that some out there are teaching that you should really be focusing almost strictly on assignments in your land investing business, taking your contracts and rather than looking at them from the perspective of owning them or whatever it may be, trying to basically just focus only on assignments. And I'll be straight up, that's something that we've never done, regardless of the market. Assignments are not a big part of our business. Now, we do a lot of double closes, and in other episodes of this show here, I've explained the difference between assignments and double closes and why we use double closes, and we'll continue to use double closes moving forward. So that in itself is a reason that we will not be focusing on assignments and never have over the last 14 years of doing this business. One thing I will say, though, is that I've heard is the reason that people are focusing on the assignments more right now is to mitigate their risk, right? They want to make sure that they have as little risk as possible. But in reality, focusing on assignments doesn't do that. It actually can increase your risk. And you may say, well, how's that possible? Because you're not buying them, you're not doing these things. And that part is true. But if you're marketing and if you're spending money and you're doing all of these different things to get in touch with sellers, and then you're getting assignment deals and you're focusing only on that and you can't assign the contracts, you're basically getting them under contract and spending all this marketing and all this time and all this effort to get things that you can't really do a whole lot with. So when we're in these type of markets, we look at a couple of different things. One, you should be looking at getting them for lower prices. Now, sellers are going to have a little bit of difficulty with this. We've already seen it over the last few months, and we're going to continue to see it, but they're going to start coming around, right? The prices that were there just a couple of years ago are not going to be there moving forward. What that's going to do is it's going to cause a lot of them to realize, hey, it's shifting down and I should get out now while I can still get some money for this. And so that is going to happen. We're already seeing it happen. Just recently, Now, I put a few different properties under contract for 500, not 5,000, 500, 1,000, $1,500 that we've purchased because of that. So we're already starting to see these sellers that not that long ago would have never sold those properties for those prices and are now doing these things again that we saw 10 years ago in this business. The other thing that is going to happen is you're going to start seeing a lot more buyers request two things. One, they're going to make offers less than what you're asking, even if the price is good. Okay. I have a piece of property out there right now that I just accepted an offer for $3,000 less than asking price. Now, that may not sound like much, but the asking price is only $13,000 and they offer 10, and I accepted that deal. Just 6, 8, 10, 12 months ago, if I put that property out for that price, it would have been snatched up and there would have been no negotiations. There would have been nothing. In fact, I may have been in a multiple offer situation. So we're already seeing that difference with buyers. Also, something that we're seeing a lot more with buyers is they're asking for seller financing again. Now, seller financing never went away. People were always interested in that, but there was a lot of cash in the market over the last few years. There's still cash out there, but people are being a little bit more tight-fisted with it. So because of that, there's a lot more demand, a lot more people asking for seller financing than there was before. With those two things in place, that's why we're offering sellers less money, knowing that one, what the market value is and what we can list it for, we're probably not going to get that in a lot of cases. Even if we list it under market, which we do, it's still going to sell for even less than that. We've lived through this before. We've seen it. It's completely normal. There's nothing wrong with it. But that obviously affects what we offer the seller up front because we still have to make money on the deal. Also, with owner financing in place, we don't want to be buying a piece of property for $6,000 and selling it for 10 with owner financing and taking forever to get our money back. No, that's a property there that we want to be buying for $1,000, $2,000 max because of that. And so you need to adjust accordingly to what you're seeing from the buyers in the market. Now, some people will say, well, I really don't want to mess around with that. I like the assignment idea because what I want to do is I want to focus on just simply getting a few $1,000s from the deal and moving it to a builder or moving it to this other person and just assigning the contract and letting them take over it. And that sounds good in theory. The problem is that buyer pool, the people that are doing this are not going to be buying in the same demand that they have been. One, they're going to be looking for better deals. So if you've got a property under contract that you were before saying, I'm trying to make $10,000 and I'm buying it for $30,000 and trying to assign it for $10,000 for $40,000, that $40,000 buyer is probably not going to be there. They're going to be more of a $30,000 buyer. So that just ate up your entire assignment fee. You have nothing left to get doing it that way, right? So you're not able to offer as much. Also, the amount of people that are willing to do it is going to be going down. Builders were picking up stuff left and right because they were being able to flip them easy. They were putting homes on them. They were doing, but guess what? Though that demand there is starting to lower down a little bit, right? So there's a little bit surplus. And so because of that, they're being more picky about the properties that they get. They need to get them at better deals. So if they've got to get it at a better deal, you need to get it at a better deal in order to sell it to them. So we still will sell to builders. We're going to sell it to them at a discount. We're going to get it at a better price. We're going to double close to them, things like that. But we're also trying to get a better price up front so that we can move forward with buying them outright if it makes sense, selling them owner financing, whatever it may be, but using different options that we teach. So as we're coming into this market shift, as we're coming into this cycle here, again, I applaud everybody that's run into this and done this and gotten involved. But over the last few years, it was very easy to make money in land investing. It was very easy to make money in real estate, right? Because the market was just shifting up. You get a property in a contract, you could sell it just days later at a little bit of price, and you make $10,000, $15,000 per deal over and over and over and over again. It wasn't difficult. Those days are drying up, right? We're already seeing it. People are already talking about it. There's already a shift. And so because of that, you need to shift with what works, what we saw. We've already lived through this market. It wasn't that long ago. In fact, what we're seeing now as far as the decline is nothing compared to what it was 15 years ago. So that being said, adjust accordingly. You're going to start to see sellers responding better to lower dollar amounts. As that happens, you're able to have more options as to what you do with your properties and then sell them to your end buyers at discounts accordingly. There's a lot more money to be made in a market like this, down market. This is where investors come in and really can make some money. compared to high markets. But if you've only lived in a high market, then you might be looking at this thing, well, I'm just going to assign, but you're not really investing if you're in that case, right? At that point, you're just wholesaling properties. That's it. You're making little bits of money, and those assignment fees are going to start to shrink. In fact, we've already had some students that were doing some assignments tell us they're needing to pivot. Why do they need to pivot? Because those assignment fees are shrinking. Before, just months ago, 6 months ago, they were putting properties out and they were getting multiple offers. Now they put a property out and they're getting offers for less than what they're asking. So obviously that's a shrinking fee, whether they're doing assignments or double closing. So you need to adjust on the front end because of that. So this is something that we can help you with. This is something that we help people with all the time. If you haven't yet really started in land investing, now is a very good time to do this, because like I said, the lower, cooler buyers markets are times that we can really do well in our businesses and where real investors can thrive. You have that opportunity. We're here to help you. So reach out to us. Our information is in the description. Reach out with any questions that you may have. Tell us in this if this makes sense. Give some comments on this video. We'd love to hear from all of our viewers and people that are listening to this. Let us know what you think, and make sure to tune in next week as well, as we address another misconception that's out there right now that people are talking about, that maybe people are implementing that they really don't need to do. So again, thank you everybody for joining us. Thanks for joining us each and every week, and we'll catch you next week on Crushing Land.